You're listening to the Bantering Bohs Show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! I can't believe it's finally here! This is going to be awesome! I watched the teaser, YouTube trailer, TV spots, including the special British one, of course, like 50 times. Did you know the Japanese version has an extra 2 seconds in it? I feel so alive! But then I said, of course I'm going to watch the preview with all the other hardcore fans. I've been one for 10 years, and I mean, oh my god, this is it! The Marvel credits! Shut up! No. What? This is not the way that happened in the comics. God, Hollywood, am I right?
Please leave me alone.
That character wasn't even in that saga. You see, they can't possibly tie this down properly with the next stage of the cinematic universe, not to mention the TV show, web series, and card game. Boo!
Oh my god, lady, I don't care. I'm just here for Chris Evans.
That's okay, man. I'm angry too. That was amazing! Huh? Where's everybody? Don't they know they have to wait till the... Ha! I got it. I'm so clever. It totally hints the sequel of the, oh god, this franchise is never going to end.
Cue the music.
From the super swanky Bachelor Pad Studios in Baltimore, Maryland, this is the Bantering Bohs Show. Bantering Bohs Show, featuring Brian Thomas, Brad Beals, and James Revere. And now, here are your hosts, the Bohs.
Welcome back, everyone, to an all-new episode of the Bantering Bohs Show. I am your host, Brian Thomas, and joining me, as always, is Mr. Brad Beals.
Hello, Bats.
And Mr. James Revere. JR?
Hey.
Wait.
I'm looking. Where is he?
Where is he? Where's Waldo?
Wait.
Oh, wait a minute.
He's
He's on vacation. Huh.
Lucky son of a...
Yeah, it must be nice, come back after just a hiatus after 2 weeks.
All right, I admit it. I got a little overdue with the candy. I may have gone to a diabetic coma with a little bit of diabetes.
Right.
I may have been dropped off downtown. I don't know.
Well, before you get into that, let me remind everybody what they're tuning into here. This is the show where we banter about anything and everything we want. We are based out of the Maryland area. And
Baltimore,
yeah. Well, we're not proud of it. I gotta be honest with you.
You're not. I'm definitely proud.
I'm not proud of it. I gotta be honest.
Oh,
you know what? You know what I am? I'm like one of those people that just secretly wishes. I hated Virginia for such a long time. Now, you know what? Turn to the dark side.
Why? You're gonna move there, aren't you? I mean,
I don't know. But yeah, I it's easier to say the DC metro area. It would be a whole lot better. But yeah. So as Bradley mentioned and I mentioned, we were on we took another week off. For those of you that do tune in every week. And we had our reasons for that. One, because there was a Halloween party a couple of nights before. The night before, as a matter of fact, because we've been recording on Sundays the last 2 times. And
a gracious host allowed us over, shall we say. It was very lovely, but we will go into that later.
Yeah, because I'm going to want the actual... I have on my show notes feedback. I'd like feedback on it. I'd like a rating on there, too.
Ah, crap.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, so let's pick up. Well, last time we talked, we were just prepping for Halloween. It was about a week before outside of Halloween. I was losing my mind because I have a Halloween party in my house, and which I will not disclose the location of. It was a party. You know what? I don't even want to call it a party. I hate calling it a party. I always have. It was a get together of such great people, our closest friends, and even if you didn't know each other, like some people didn't. and we'll only stick to first names here, okay? Just because to protect the innocent until proven guilty. Just like
they're innocent. This is the first time I heard this one.
So no, there was some people like just came. If you didn't work with one of us, then you were a friend from high school, for example, or a friend from college, and but we all
friends.
It was like all different. All different sorts of people here, and we just all found a way. We just all got along, and that's not something you see at a party all the time. We're just, if you're like me, when I go to a party at somebody else's house, I'm usually pretty clingy to somebody I do know, and I'll just stick with them, or I'll stick with my wife.
So that thing is like I tend to do the same thing.
Yeah,
because I went to a party the next night. I had 2 to go to.
That must be. What? I heard you went to 3. Is that true?
I went to 3. Did I? No, I went to 2, and then I got dragged out Halloween night.
Oh, okay.
I got dragged out. I will tell you that for a fact. I was dragged out.
All right.
I did not want to go.
Okay.
Because I knew how it was going to be.
All right.
But going back to original things, so when you go to the party, and you always have that. You have that safety net. You have those one selective group of friends that you're good with, unless you are a very outgoing individual that you're like, make friends with everybody.
I know a few people. We know one person that can do that, and there's a reason his name is Hollywood. Now, you and I, if we we've been to parties like, not actually, I think we have before. We've been to like get-togethers, I think, and we're just like, I don't know if some people are like me, but I can get very judgmental very easily. I can be like, dude, you are a double pop collar wearing son bitch, and you know what? I want nothing to do with you. You are one mimosa shy from being the slut. Anything like that. There's people out there that just, I don't know. Some people rub you the wrong way, and I'm
very curious, cordial when I go out and like meet new people. I do like meet new people. It's just,
that can be a lot of fun. Absolutely.
Always, trying to meet new people, and it's always the icebreaker. What it comes down to is just how to get that, how you talk, talk to people and just getting that. And that's just anything in general, just meet new people.
Right.
And get together, especially in your house. You have the 2 crews going there. Let's be honest. The icebreaker alone was the copious amounts of some special cocktails your wife was in charge of, shall we say.
Okay. What was that?
That would be the copious amount of Jello shooters she made.
Oh, okay. She made sangria too, so I was just going to say.
She made sangria. I don't know how much that was touched, but those Jello shooters, she was knocking back, and you were too.
I knocked one back. I had no choice. You got to just by that time,
Which brings around the bowl. No, I'm not saying she bring them out on like a thing or a tray. No, she brought around like a huge serving bowl full of these darn things.
If you've ever been to a bar or like a so-called club in the area, then you know what a Jello shooter looks like. But when a Jello shooter's served in a syringe and it has the whipped cream, then you know all hell is about to break loose.
Oh, yeah. Or have a good night with your lady.
Right. No, well, even before we get into the alcohol, I did want to get into just I did want to say this, that I didn't didn't mind throwing a Halloween party. I was kind of excited about it. I know my wife was very excited because
you were excited to dress up.
I love dressing up. It's been noted many times on this show.
Instagram and every convention we've gone to.
Yes,
I think what's MagFest totally doing it this year.
Yeah, but it's when a party comes to your home. It's just like, I don't know. It's I get very nervous because I don't like being the host of something like that because there's so much that goes into it. Now
there's so much responsibility. You have to think. You have everything set up and arranged. You're thinking more of everything going on and make sure everything's moving smoothly.
Right.
Whereas if you go into somebody else's party, you can throw your shit in anywhere. No one would really care. Well,
exactly.
Actually,
yeah. Now kudos to my wife because she was the one who arranged it all together. I know she won't listen, and by some small chance that she can hear me through the walls right now.
The door.
Yeah, she probably has her ear to the door. No, she's the one who arranged all this. I did my minor things, whatever, and have you. Of course, the biggest thing was just like I want to make sure that no one gets out of control. I want to make sure that everybody has a good time. No one gets out of control, and all that kind of stuff. We don't run out of nothing gets broken. We have a liquor shelf, if you want to call it, like a little bar, and that thing is so unsturdy that just if you sneeze at it, all that alcohol and the glass is going to break. I'm surprised. And one of the visitors.
That is a nightmare waiting to happen. Let's be honest.
Right.
You have that in your dream, like,
yeah,
the booze.
Right. And one of the guests wore one of those inflatable dinosaur outfits, and yeah. Yeah, and I was so worried that the T-Rex was really going to just make that water shake and just knock it down.
I did actually have to catch something because he turned around at one point and hit your light chandelier in the kitchen.
Oh, dear God.
He did notice, and I had to grab it real quickly just to make sure it didn't get on. So, yeah, don't get me wrong. Those things are great, but if you're wearing them, please be aware of your surroundings. Please sure you're in open area. But after a while, he was like, I'm taking this off because I want to actually eat something.
Right. Now, and I was nervous when he said he was going to wear it. I mean, I can't tell somebody not to wear a costume. It's just like, okay, well, and my ceilings aren't as high as they're not like cathedral ceilings. They're just normal ceilings. And there's something wrong with that, but I was still kind of worried.
What are you, like 8.5 feet, I think?
I think. Something like that, yeah. I guess.
I'm 6 foot. I could easily touch them.
Right.
So I'm going to say probably another extra 2 feet on there. Probably let's say 8.5 just to be on the safe side.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah, but that's how high it is in residence. So they're not that high, but yeah, compared to if you have those inflatable T-Rex outfits, which are, again, amazing. I am considering, sadly, to get one maybe at one point.
Right. Yeah.
Just for fun's sake, let's be honest.
Just to have, I think
the YouTube videos alone you've seen of these things are hilarious.
The thing is, I think they're going to go out of style really fast. I mean, it's just going to be a big fad in the next year or just one more year, and that's going to be about it. Yeah.
I mean, we already saw the what was the Broncos cheerleader wearing it for that, and she was doing the whole thing in the suit.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yes,
that was awesome.
That was funny. Yeah. Oh, you can have a lot of fun with this, and Comic-Con people they're chasing each other and stuff like that. Oh, it's so great. Absolutely. But I think that it's gonna be a quick fad and it's gonna die out. But yeah. Anyway, what else I want to talk about? Oh, so going back to we had so much food that was cooked up. Or created, should I say?
The pretzels dipped in
white chocolate.
White chocolate. You've had candy
with
corn.
the smiley faces and eyes on them.
True. With the smiley faces and eyes, you had the candy corn shaped Rice Krispie treats.
Yes,
along to go with it too. Chicken chili, more chicken chili,
double chicken chili.
I do want to give it to JR that one line of the night when you're looking at the two crock pots. We're like, what's in that one? Well, and JR's like, I bet you that's chicken chili. What's in the other one? I bet you that's chicken chili. And then you come over and get your wife. You're like, honey, what's in the other one? Chicken chili. What? JR's like, what did I say? Chicken chili.
I had no idea. I truly had no idea.
I told you.
Yeah, I really didn't have any idea.
Oh, big props to him for finally making the commitment and doing what he's always wanted to do for a cosplay / Halloween costume idea, for going as Kung Fury.
Yes,
God bless
I was so happy he did that. I knew that he was debating about doing something else, and I was like, oh man, he's not going to do what the Kung Fury.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was kind of looking forward to that because I've never seen one.
Yeah. So to our listeners out there, we were having this back and forth text messages to each other one day at work, and James is out running around and he's getting his costume together, and he's sending us pictures of him in the store on ideas while we're at work. And one of them was a vendor. It was Captain America hoodie, those cheap ones you just kind of throw over. So it was costume idea. And we're like, I mean, you can, but come on, man. There's something creative you can do. He's like, ooh, I see a $5 robe and a pretty nice looking lightsaber. I'm going to probably do this. All right, cool. But then you come through the door dressed with the red chucks, the leather jacket, and the red thing. I'm like, you, sir, you deserve that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I thought when he said he was going to be the Jedi, I was like, that's a safe bet. I was like, oh, come on, man. You just
he wants to be Kung Fury.
Yeah, and he was yanking our chain the whole time, honestly. So. Yeah, good costume there. I guess while we're on the subject of costumes, I mean, we did have a visitor by how do I say this?
Classy individual decides to make the place a very nice, elegant establishment.
Yeah.
It was the classiest costume out there. You're gonna love it.
It was the greatest thing ever. It's good. It's great. It's wonderful. And we're gonna make this Halloween party great again.
There's great costumes. There's even bad costumes. Every costume can be great out there. Just gotta know the great costume.
Oh my god! All right, my friend, our friend Steve. He all right. So I don't know if you heard the backstory about this. Is that
This is the second year in a row wearing the same costume.
Okay, well that I didn't know until about a couple days ago. But no, I had texted him because I got to talking with a coworker of mine saying that came to the party, and I was like, "Hey, you know what? I have this crazy idea, and I bet you that Steve would do it." So I texted him. I was like, "Hey, Steve, you got your Halloween costume ready yet?" He's like, not yet, not yet. Why?" I was like, I'm willing to pay you money if you come as the big man from Trump Tower." And he's like, "How much?" I was like, "Just do it because my wife will go apeshit," and so it would be priceless.
And she was livid.
I don't know how bad. Well, if it wasn't for the shooters, then I think she would have been a whole lot pissier.
Probably, she would have been a lot more angry at that. Yeah.
Yeah. And he did that. So he came right and full. He didn't. The only thing missing.
Full suits.
Yeah.
Full obnoxious wig and hat. Ooh.
And his personality suits it so well. That's that's the selling point there.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And then somehow some guy, a friend of Christie's, came dressed as a cat or a pussy cat. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a black cat because he was coupled with his wife, right? That came. She was a witch.
Girlfriend. Yeah.
And girlfriend. Excuse me. She was a witch, and then he was supposed to be her black cat. And lo and behold, the cat found Trump.
Well, actually, Trump found the cat because that's what he does. So.
And he made sure to grab said
cat. Meow now.
Now.
Meow now. Do I look like a cat there?
Do I drink milk out of a saucer now? Have a good night now, man.
Yep. Oh, it's good. That picture. I guess you took that picture. I don't know.
I probably did. I know there was 50 million because your wife was taking her selfie stick all around that place. I'm glad she didn't at least whack somebody with it yet.
Yeah. Let's see what other costumes were there. Kind of stood out for me. Oh, well, your costume. I'm glad you really went through with this because you never really dress up, or I guess during a Halloween. I mean, you've dressed up. I mean, let's face it, man. The Blues Brothers. That's very easy, and not many people would understand. Or some people, but not everybody.
Some people get the reference. I mean, it is a little bit of an older film and more Colt Moore was going to be fine. Most of my costumes, again, I just do really quick, easy ones, kind of practical
could do better.
ones. True, I think.
This year was great. I'm saying any other year. What were you last year?
What did I do last year? Because I did the Blues Brothers one year.
Mm-hmm.
I did. Oh, what did I do? I'm afraid to say.
I don't remember what you did. I don't. Yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't just. But this year you went out and you were a minion.
I did a minion this year,
but you were creative though, and you're showing exactly what I know that you could do. Okay, and you were very creative. You bought the overalls that you left the tags on.
Yes, I did. I left they're going right back to the Walmart they came from.
I'm like, dear God, if a Jello shooter gets on that, then he's got to own them.
You wouldn't believe some of the stuff I had to do for the next party.
Did you use Matrix moves for that? Because my God.
Oh, I probably did. Because I'm like, not the teriyaki sauce, no. The food at that one. I'll get to it. But yeah, so the Minion costume, this actually started from, to our listeners, if they were listening beforehand, a Halloween costume idea literally from a Google search. I just went down a list of top 10 easy DIY costumes, and I'm like, perfect. That sounds like me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what's on the menu. See what they got here. And I come across a Minions costume. They're like, look, all you need to do for Minions: yellow shirt, t-shirt, just plain canary yellow. Found that at Joanne Fabrics easily. Overalls, which for some reason I don't know why. I guess in the area that I live are hard to find unless I went to that one Walmart.
Go to Pasadena, just saying.
Apparently, I need to. That's probably where I need to go get some good ones out of the consignment.
Yes.
So, and then it came to, the goggles. How are you going to do them? And the idea was so simple. They're like, go to the dollar store, get a pair of safety goggles, $1.
Mm-hmm.
Go and get some mason jar lids, not the round part, but the bands that hold it together, and just glue them right on. And I'm like, my God. That is so simple. Yeah. And then I'm like, that probably was only for the goggles, no more than probably $5, to be honest.
How about that?
And you can't beat that because think about it, the glue. I use rubber cements. and then that, and then the band. Then I got 2 mason jars for like $1.50 at like Walmart somehow.
Oh, they're easy to find. Yeah.
They're actually easy to find. The bands too, but of course it was like if I wanted to buy a pack of them for like it was like 12, and I'm like, no, I'll just buy 2 mason jars, use them for drinks or something, and I'll just use the bands themselves. So got that taken care of. And then before I went to the party, made sure to stuff a banana in my overalls and one of the pockets, and I'm set to go. I mean, yeah, this was my old DIY, and actually everyone was really impressed with it, surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
I will say,
go ahead.
I will say those safety goggles, they only could have lasted those 2 nights, the 2 parties, and they hurt like there's no tomorrow trying to wear them. I would not recommend wearing them for extended period of times because the plastic that is used for those safety goggles, because of this dollar store, they're cheap. They actually start to dig into your skin after a while.
Okay.
So I'm just forewarning to the people out there, just to let you know. So, but yeah, they work solid. Once I put them on, people are like, "Oh my god, you're a minion!" It's like, "Yep, that's me."
Yep. If somebody has to ask you what you are, the costume has failed. It's that simple. It is always that simple. We will go back. Go ahead.
I had one person say at the party after it, they're like, I had a feeling you were probably Wario. I'm like, okay, I now have a backup idea. If I have a Wario hat, I am him.
You could.
I just need a gun.
I don't know.
It's too much. Yeah.
Well, you don't have the overalls. That's what I'm thinking. You return them. Yeah.
Return them. The next party I had to go to. So really nice. This was a lot of like coworkers and stuff that I went to, but it was really more laid back, very chill. A lot of people I actually didn't know. I only knew like the few from work and a couple of friends there and the family members.
Well, it was a coworkers party, right?
Yeah, it was a coworkers party.
Okay.
So it was at one of a friend's house. Very low key, kind of chill, mingle, a lot of food. Like everyone brought like whatever they were making. I mean, we had spinach and artichoke dip,
nice,
pate and a full charcuterie board, crab dip. Some dude brought fried rice wrapped in bacon, and then you would use like little dipping sauces for it as like a stuff. I'm like, Jesus, man, everyone's going full out on this.
Really?
Food-wise, yeah, essentially. We even had pulled pork sandwiches, so we're slow. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, they did good.
Yeah, really.
We had, I even had one, excuse me, one person even brought over little treats. She tried to do like little monster treats made out of fruit, basically. She would cut an apple, stick, do like a little side of it, stick a little strawberry in there as like the tongue, and then little decorative like nuts for like the teeth, and like put little eyeballs on it, so it looks like little monsters that you're eating. I'm like, that's pretty cute.
Yeah.
So doing that, but yeah, kind of low key and stuff. But after that night, I would just say I had to take the because also they had cats,
like literal cats.
Yeah, they had little cats, not dressed up ones. No, they were cats. So I had to make sure when I was going to return the overalls, I had to like go through and make sure to make sure there's no hair on it, and I literally stuffed like 2 fabric what's called dryer sheets in the bag before I returned to, overnight to be like, okay, no smells. I don't want anything.
Oh, there's nothing worse. I lived in an apartment before that smelled like cat, and you can't get that smell out. It's very difficult. So yeah.
Luckily, I was on the safe bet, and because they have, I guess, hardwood floors, no carpet, because that will absorb it, and like leather couches, kind of, let's say, or whatever, fake leather. But especially that party, the family, because I think the parents showed up because they wanted to stop by and say hi. Once they left, like, okay, Cards Against Humanity, let's get this done.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And we had epic ones going on there.
Shows up at every party. Well, I mean, there's... Now it's because of you and a few others that if we don't have that game at a party, then or get together.
It is a fun time, and after a few drinks, it is a riot. It's just, it always sucks because there's good combinations. It's just trying to get those cards where it's like, and you always get that one card you could use for that one you just put down, like right as you do it, right as you put down your card, you're like, oh, this would have been so cool for this event, for this one, but now I gotta wait. Damn it! Yeah, I always get that.
I know we have tried playing Cards Against Humanity in the show back sometime last year, and it's hard with 3 people. It's
hard to do that on a radio show too. Yeah. A good format to do it on if you want to share YouTube, because either you can show the card or you can go. There are online third-party sites that emulate Cards Against Humanity and stuff, and if you screen capture it, you can see someone's cards, their reaction, and see like the results, which are actually pretty entertaining. But tell you the truth, with your best friends and a couple drinks, if you want to have a good time and have a horrible sense of humor, yeah, totally.
Absolutely, yeah. No, when you have the right group, I've said this before too, then that makes a difference, I think.
Yes.
Because some people get they understand each other's humor a little bit more. Some people are just like, eh. And I played with a group like that where it just didn't work out as well as I intended. Be like, this is it. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you when it was Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was a weird kind of group because there was like 2 or 3 people I remember you saying off on the side who their answers were just, it didn't really work into your style of humor. It's like, okay,
No.
instead of, and trust me, we get pretty dirty and raunchy and off color, especially in the jokes.
Yeah.
But that was entertaining. Instead, like some of the milder ones were like, what form of torture has the FBI started implementing into their interrogations? And I'll throw down the Care Bear stare. And it's just like, that's just funny.
Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, depends on the group that you're with, because
Exactly.
that can be the deal breaker right there. Yeah. No, but we had a good group playing that. And when we realized that we had Cards Against Humanity, it's like, oh yeah, we need to actually do this.
You get this done.
Yeah, exactly. So no, overall with the party, I'd say it was a hit. What did you think?
It was definitely a good time. It was fun.
Yeah.
I wish I probably could have stayed a little bit longer or even like had a few more, but of course I had work and stuff like that to go to.
Honestly,
Busy guy,
I don't
but-
know what time you left. I really couldn't tell you what time you left.
You were gone.
I know. I was feeling
shooter
very,
snuck
very
up, yeah.
good. I was feeling very well. And I felt it the next day, which I haven't felt in such a long, long time.
Yeah, when I saw your Instagram, your Instagram post is like, I was a little bit slow getting into work today, and it just shows a bottle of like the martinis, and I'm like, that ain't the real reason. Let's pan over a little bit to the Jello shooter somewhere.
It was one Jello shooter, ass. Okay, it was one of those. And no, it is our other co-host. It's his fault to a point because. Yeah, no, well, me out.
Okay.
Because when I started with, I drank. Well, my costume didn't allow me to fully drink something because I had a mask on, and so I was sipping it out with a straw.
So please tell the audience what your costume was.
My costume was honestly, it's a Bone Daddy costume from like a Day of the Dead, and but it's more specifically aimed at James Bond's Spectre Bone Daddy costume.
Yes,
And
from that amazing beginning sequence.
one of the best opening sequences I've ever seen in a James Bond movie, possibly one of the top 5 best. But besides that, though, I think the costume turned out pretty good. I think just trying to put it together on my own. And even if and like I said, if you don't understand what somebody's costume is, if they have to ask, then it's a fail. Even if people didn't know exactly what that was from, you did. James knew that, not a problem. It was still.
Everyone just thought immediately, oh, Dia de la Muerta, basically just like Day of the Dead. It's like, okay, but
Yeah.
once you hold up, like, if you had your foam craft, PB7, or especially the cocktail, you had a martini glass with you. It's like, James Bond, gotcha.
Yeah. Oh, and I was happy to take that mask off by the end of the night, or by the middle of the night, no less, because I was like, all right, well, I was easing into my. I haven't drank vodka in a long time. Let me tell you that right now. Okay. It's been a long, long time, and it sounds so bad because I'm thinking, what do I want to drink that night? That's something I know I can, go with the rest of the night, and just, you have a drink of choice. Beer could be, I don't know. Beer hits me all different kinds of ways. It actually. The 2 beers, it was the not pumpkin, but it starts with an S, something pumpkin ale. Yeah, I had two. I had 2 of those.
That's why. Okay, so I brought over Shaflees. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Okay.
Yeah, I brought the pumpkin ale. That is 8.4%. That's why.
Well, that's not why. That wasn't because of last week, and that's because of this morning. Let me tell you that right now. Oh, I had 2 of them.
Yeah,
and it hit me out of nowhere.
It is a stronger proof It is a stronger proof ale, to be honest. That's why I'm like, I even told our friend Tom, who was there, because he was into it. He's like, "Oh man, it's really good." I'm like, "Yeah, but go slow. They will sneak up and hit you, dude."
He had 3 and he couldn't.
No.
He wasn't. He didn't feel. He felt really bad. He canceled on a run the next day. Let's put it that way. But yeah, no, I stayed away from whiskey. I stayed away from beer. I was like, okay, how about vodka tonic? I was going to do gin and tonic or, rum and tonic, but I was like, you know what? Let me try vodka tonic. And I babied it at first, and I added more tonic and lime in there, and I drank it out of a martini glass because that was more
a straw. Well, let's be honest, that's the only way you can get it through the mask.
Yeah, that was my defense in that is because that was the only way to drink that. Now, when the mask came off, I was just downing them, and I could down them pretty fast. But then I would add, and I was going around to you, to Tom, to his wife, and to James and his girlfriend. I'm like saying, "Hey, can you guys try this? Because I can't tell if this is too strong or not." And I wasn't.
And I took it. I went, "Whoa! Oh, hi!"
And I wasn't out to get wasted. That was not my intention ever. And then James's girlfriend, she's like, "Gotta be honest, it's kind of weak." I was like, "Huh? What?" I'm like, "I'll be right back." Pew! And then I went in there like Flash, came right back out. I'm like, let's try this. She's like, that's better, something like that. Anyway, so after that, I was just done, And then we were by that time we were playing Cards Against Humanity, and then I had a Jello shot that my wife forced me to take. So all that together, and then I remember we had to pick up the dogs afterwards. I think everybody, I asked you not, was out of our house by midnight at the latest.
Because I think everyone had other plans, like the next day, especially. And
well,
I know
no, because we're an older group.
That's true.
We are getting older, and some people have their kids. They were able to bring them.
Yes.
The kids were great. The kids were awesome. They had a good time. Just life comes at you fast, and and so does alcohol and vodka tonics. And pumpkin ale, and it was just like, okay, well, it was a great time, and it to me it went by so fast that it was 7 o'clock, and then all of a sudden it's midnight. I'm like, it's like that. It was that fast, and
I think time flies when you're having a good time, or you.
And I like I said, I had a blast. I wanted it to last longer, but I was just whatever. So we went to get the dogs. I remember getting over to the dogs, but I don't remember really coming back because I was getting tired, and
Right.
That next morning, whoo, God, I slept until like about 10:30, and then I think by the time lunchtime came around, which was a late lunch of just the worst kind of Wendy's you can get, the value meals, the double cheeseburgers, the 10-piece nuggets and fries. Because I don't know what the hangover cure is. I know what mine used to be. The hangover cure that I still stand to this day, which I didn't use, I should have, was like at least 2 bottles of Gatorade, 2 bottles of water, 2 Tylenol, and just that should do the trick.
2 Tylenol, and if the vitamin water Revive, usually. Stuff like that.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, yeah. Oh, electrolytes.
Or actually, surprisingly enough, this was actually, I think it was the owner of like Anheuser-Busch said, or no, Sam Adams guy, I think
I've heard this, yeah.
Yeah, he says for his hangover cure, yogurt.
Oh, no. Oh, that would be...
You would think, but it actually works. For me, I did it one time, and I was like, huh.
I believe it, but I just...
You would think
that's the last thing I want.
Well, you would think dairy. You don't want to do it as you're drinking, obviously.
No.
You want to do it the next morning. You would think, like, okay, get that in my system. It's sustenance. There's vitamins in it, so...
On another podcast, I've heard him say Pedialyte.
Oh, yeah, true, because of your electrolytes in there, especially. But you're just basically... You need something with your vitamin B and your electrolytes, essentially. Vitamin B being your key thing.
I drank lots and lots of water beforehand. I know that much, and I was like, "This should definitely help." But at the end, there's just no escaping.
No, it's your dehydration, drunkenness still kicks in. It's like
and the eating
also,
too.
Yeah, eating, especially if you are eating or if you're not, if it's being absorbed. So, that's a whole different science in and of itself, apparently. But
yeah,
it's all science that's like never actually tested.
Right.
It's just like it's tested on the scale of, dude, did this work back in college days?
It worked back in the day.
It worked back in the day. Now you're 30.
Right.
It gets worse.
Exactly. You know, and then, oh, man, that was just, it wasn't a waste of a day at all, but I mean, it was just like one of those days where you just don't want to do anything. And then it came to the fact that it's like, oh yeah, I never asked if they wanted to record. The hell with it. I'm going back to bed. I'm chilling out.
He's going back to bed. I had to be at work at 7 in, for God's sakes.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't care. Yeah, whatever. No, but it was. No, I'd say it was a great time. Maybe might be a yearly thing. I don't know.
That'd be awesome.
That would be. You know, and this is going into the part about getting older. We've tried. You and I definitely have tried going out. You know, to like the bar scene during Halloween time.
Oh yeah.
You know, going especially downtown. It can be
yes.
a mess.
So downtown is where pretty much all the, if you want to go down, all the electricity of the city, shall we say, all the, you know, what's hip was happening. I don't know. That was a terrible phrase I wanted to use, but whatever. What's hip was happening. No, it's like where everyone ends up going, especially on Halloween.
Okay, Huey Lewis. All right.
Where everything's happening, basically. As you go downtown, you go to Baltimore, Fells being the one part for a Halloween party, let's be honest. Sadly, we did it one year, but the problem is we did it when Halloween landed on a weekend.
Oh, God.
And that was the defining factor because it was a mess.
It was, yeah.
You know it's bad, and you know how badly crowded it is when the cops are literally out in riot gear and you have to use the horses just to get around.
Sure that wasn't the riots? No? Okay.
It was very close to it. I mean,
yeah, it was. No, I swore from that day on that I would never go down there. All of us would never go down there again.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. You see a lot of people, especially in some good costumes, but it's always going to be on the weekends. Mm-hmm. This year it landed on the Monday, so it's like, and I got dragged out to it because my roommate wanted to go downtown, even though I said,
oh my God, he really wanted to.
He wanted to. I got dragged down there. I didn't want to. My legs were killing me that day because I did a run at like 5.
Oh, poor guy. God.
So I went down. I manned up. I went down.
Because you are a good friend. I'm not kissing your ass here, but you are a good friend, and you would even against your own will, you would go.
Yeah, he wanted to see the scene. He wanted to see what it's like.
I bet he did.
So
yeah,
go down there, get something to eat, see the sights.
Yeah, and how are the sights? How's that scouting report?
It was a different scene. I actually didn't feel comfortable, to be honest, down there. To be honest,
yeah.
I guess because it was a Monday and there was a bit of a different crowd out, especially walking around, and how it was. And let's be honest, every time I walk by the square, I probably got a contact high because that place freaking reeked of weed. Oh, jeez.
Where was this?
Yeah, down in Fells Point.
Okay.
You know that square area where like everybody was like lingering around.
Yeah.
It reeked of weed. I'm like, Jesus, dude. Like, you need that as your excuse. Like, there's a lot of people here. The cop's standing right there. I'm just going to smoke it up. Like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
It was, and going to the crowd, there were some good people out there. There was one amazing Alice Cooper that I was able to see, and I made sure to take a picture of him and post that one. But there was a bunch of like creep balls out there. Like, there were two, like, I saw these two like girls coming down dressed up as bunnies, basically. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Hippity
and
hop.
as I'm taking picture of the one couple that were walking by, not them, but somebody's, and they asked me like, "Hey, where can I check out your pics? Where are you gonna post them?" And I tell them, "Yeah, I'm gonna be posting them to the Bantering Bohs." These girls walk by as I'm saying that, and then this other creep like walks by and goes, it says to the two bunnies, "Yo, where can I see your pics?"
Oh my God!
Like, wow, dude, you are that's just bad.
Really?
Oh. Get out of here! Keep walking, kid. They don't care.
Whatever. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, though, how would you rate downtown experience? Your downtown experience?
Well, once we got away from that, like I unfortunately was not in a good mood to go down, especially like that. So my opinion is going to be biased. If I wasn't in such a bad mood, I probably would have a better thing. It's very selective on which bar you go to and which scene is, because that can pretty much define your night essentially if you go down there. And Fells, essentially, like which ones are so open. I can't remember which ones are open. But I mean, it was all right. I've done better. I've done better in previous years, I think my best one was when I was down there with a coworker. She did her couple costume. I was down there with someone I was dating at the time. I think what was it? I think that was the year I went down as. I did Newsies one year. That's what it was.
Okay.
That was one of my costumes I did one year. Was Newsies. I think it was Christian Bale.
Oh.
So we did that and enjoyed it. And I was like, it was just enough crowded where it was like there was a lot of people, but still a good amount. You could still get around and have a good time, especially. Mm-hmm. And they had really nice setups in the Fells Point Square, like DJs, beer gardens. They had it set up real nice that year. But this was a couple years back. This time it's like I'm walking around. I'm already seeing like puke all over the ground.
Oh, see, I can't do that. No, I just
it wasn't what it used to be that year. Again, this was the Monday, so this is like everyone already has work in the morning, so not everybody's going to go out unless whatever crowd there was there.
Right.
But I heard, especially like if you do on the weekend, that's when the main crowds come out because let's be honest, it's the weekend. So you go out Saturday night, that's when it's going to get crazy busy. And God bless those bartenders for having to deal with all that. So.
Yeah, really. If you're a bartender downtown, I mean, you have to have a lot of patience. You truly do.
I have no patience. Just like get in, get out, give me drinks, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Now, and that's why I guess going back to the party, just like knowing that I have this. If I was to say, because it was my birthday, if I was to say, hey, let's get a group, let's go downtown or whatever. Let's even go. Let's even go down to or go over to Columbia or whatever. I might get maybe a quarter of the people I invited. Yeah. When you say this, and then the fact that if you're a parent that you can bring kids, that's like it's a win-win. It truly is,
exactly,
because you're partying with people that you know, and you get to you don't have, maybe you don't have to worry about the babysitter. That's something in the years to come that I'm going to have to think about too. That's always a good thing. You kiss my ass.
You're thinking, especially in that. It's like, holy crap, he's matured. He's thinking like an adult instead of like the 20-year-old that's like, I want to go out and get drunk. We'll get an Uber back. We'll go to McDonald's afterwards.
Hey, I've never done McDonald's. I've never done Oh, wait a minute, that's not true. I did with JR. He ratted me out. No. Those days are. I'm past them. I really am. I don't even like. I was telling my dad yesterday. I was like, I'll even go into like a Ravens game. I don't want to go to the Ravens game anymore. It's just so bad. I'm not being antisocial. It's just to the point. It's just like people can't control their alcohol. I don't want to have to be around somebody who can't control their alcohol. If that's how it is, then enjoy yourself. But I like at the comfort of my own home.
For me, I totally want to because let's be honest, how many Ravens games have I actually gone to in my life? It's probably 2. So yeah.
But do you get to actually see the game? Or are you going for the experience to enjoy the tailgating and the food?
Oh, the thing is, I never get there for the tailgating, so I've never actually done that.
Okay.
The only tailgating, let's be honest, that I've actually done back in the day is at my old alma mater, especially where you could actually pull your cars up to the hill that overlooked the football games, especially.
Right.
So that was our tailgate, and the fraternity that I'm in, we would bring our couches, sit them down on the hill.
Right.
Crack open the grill, crack open the cooler full of beer, and just enjoy that. Like that was the tailgating, and that's something not too many people have had the pleasure of. Is like actually pulling your car up to the field itself and overlook it. Not in the bleachers. No. You are literally you have your car out. You looking at the football field.
Yeah.
Do I remember anything from those games? God, no.
Absolutely not. If you did, then I'd be very,
Or like,
shocked.
oh yeah, there's a game going on. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, they're throwing a ball down there. You think you want to go check it out? Nah, I'm gonna puke. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So maybe age is finally sinking in, Bradley. What can I say? I'm an old man, and I'd rather be waking up in my own bed, even if a trash can is next to it, but instead of in an alley or some stranger's room. Yeah, just saying. Yeah. This is not a public disclaimer. Yeah. Anyway, so no, I'm glad that you enjoyed your time at my party, and I'm glad that you had a good time at the other party. And well, I'm sorry to hear about downtown, but
Yeah,
in a way, I really have no sympathy for
2
you.
for 3. What can I say?
It was a good run. Absolutely. Yeah.
It was good. I'll take it.
Right. Now, another run, well, not specific run that you had, but you had another experience that you had. You tried dragging me to it, and this is where I differentiate from you. If I don't want to do something, I just put my foot down, and I'm just like, nope, I'm not doing it. Nope. And I was back and forth with it. I would have considered it, but then when I got the text yesterday, I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't go. And you texted me just, went to see, you were trying to get me to see Doctor Strange. And
Yes.
that's the newest movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Blow Me
And
Mickey Mouse.
all of social media has been blowing up over it. Let's be honest.
Really?
I cannot.
Really?
I like my every time I go on like Instagram, it's been nothing but like half of it will be Doctor Strange, everyone's opinion of it, because it's a Marvel film. Everybody wants to know what they think of it. So everybody's already trying to get their memes out real quickly or doing their pictures. And I'm just like, all right, guys, here we go. But yeah, I wanted to get you in there because let's be honest. You and I, when we go to the films, we enjoy it because I can't help but lean over and make quick, jokes to you because I'm like, you'll be the only one that gets it. If I lean over some stranger, they'd be like, what the fuck, get out of here.
Yeah, we can, I don't know about you, but when I go to a movie, I have to have total silence. But for some reason, when I'm with you, I'm the one that's making the comments and I'm just, we just go with it. And it's so wrong.
I know it's so wrong and ruin it, but some of them are just so placed because we just notice little things, but it's so much fun that way. But
it is.
But instead, I decided to go to see Doctor Strange on my own. And
you went by yourself?
Yeah, I went by myself. Yeah.
You never go by yourself.
That's what I used to do.
Well, since when?
Here. So I've always gone to the movie theaters unless I'm not going with you.
Oh, really? I thought you usually go with somebody.
No, I'll go by myself. I don't care.
Okay. I mean, actually, I like going to the movies by myself. I really do. If I can't find somebody that doesn't want to go with me, I'm like, that's okay. Going to the movies is actually it can be a very enjoyable experience.
I just never understand when people would just assume it's like, oh, who'd you go with? Like, you have to go with someone. I'm like,
yeah,
I just went because I wanted to go see it. It's like, I don't have to go with anybody. It's a plus if somebody else goes with me, too. But most of the time, it's like scheduling conflicts or whatever. So I'm like, all right, screw you guys. I'm off. I'm going.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, it was kind of unplanned when I saw that. I was like, okay, well, he went. I'm like, all right, I can't wait to hear what this is going to be like. But, I mean, you didn't even give me a chance to even think that because you just went, and then you're like, 3 out of 5. I'm like,
yeah,
really? I was like, okay.
I was like 3 out of 5 for that movie, even though I remember watching like Rotten Tomatoes, look at their score. They're like immediately that 2 weeks before it came out, they're like, 80. It was not 80. It was like 90, near perfect 100. That's what Doctor Strange is. And then closer and closer to when the time of release, that score started to drop.
Really?
Like,
I see. I knew it was. I think it was James that mentioned this, that it was like about 100%, and he's excited about that. I'm like, okay.
He was like, it was 100% or whatever, and then it became 90, and it slowly just dropped the closer and closer, and then time of release. And I'm like, I knew it. There's no way they're going to give that a perfect score. And of course, I want to go and judge it by my own merit and say, okay, what did I like? What did I did not like? And there's no way it could have been as perfect as, that 2 weeks. I mean, what? They literally drank the Kool-Aid, whoever wrote that article.
Dude, it's getting a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is it 90? Hold on, let me...
That's a 90% right now. I just checked it out. Yeah, okay. I can continue bashing this as long as I want for, forever. But we just don't have enough time. But I will say that... there's a saying, you drink the Kool-Aid, and if you're loyal to a product, that you'll just keep going back and back, and even if it's giving you the exact same thing, if it's giving you red Kool-Aid, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get red Kool-Aid. You're not going to get cherry. You're not even going to get raspberry. You're going to get
strawberry, red raz.
You're going to continue getting that same red Kool-Aid, and that's what it looked like to me.
I mean, you already know the Marvel formula essentially when it comes to Marvel films, especially. It's like the structure, the way it's set up, and how it ends.
Excuse me.
And that's pretty much what I got out of it. And it's a Marvel film, so that's what you're going to get.
Okay.
It's an origin film. You're going to get that.
It looked so cookie cutter, kind of like Ant-Man, but I agreed to go with Ant-Man because I was like, all right, well, Paul Rudd, and I was being a doubting Thomas. Seriously. I seriously was. I'm like, you know what? I just want to see this movie not do so good. But you know what?
And the funny thing is,
it did good. Well, I mean, I didn't say I loved it, but I did.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The funny thing is, I was in your same boots going as you were for Doctor Strange as I was for Ant-Man, because I was like, I'm not going to have any hope for this film whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's pretty much what I got out of it.
Ant-Man, 81%.
I actually I do find Doctor Strange in the same vein as Ant-Man, to be honest.
Right.
I felt it very similar to Ant-Man in terms of the Marvel films. Did I like Doctor Strange over Ant-Man? Yes.
Okay.
I think Doctor Strange felt a little bit better and stronger than Ant-Man, but it still has the issues that Ant-Man had, is what I feel, especially to it. So it's still in that same vein. It's an origin story, so we have to go through that. You have to go through all that. His transition, I have to say the pace of it, in my opinion, is too quick. I don't think they give enough time for his transition and his training. He just picks everything up way too quickly, I have to say. So,
time out for a sec. Just so the listeners know, Bradley and I talked off the air. He's not going to do any spoilers because we know James is going to listen to this, and anybody else who hasn't had a chance to see it. But I'm not going to see it. I'm going to be honest with you. I really have.
I know you.
I want to see Ghostbusters because the new Ghostbusters more than I want to see this. If that gives you any idea, I'm being dead serious when I said because I just want to see.
Not a Benedict Cumberbatch fan.
No, I have nothing. No, I have nothing against Benedict Cumberbatch. I think he's actually a really good actor. I liked him. Most people didn't like in Star Trek Into Darkness. I liked that movie. I think he did a great job in that. I liked him in the movie last year with Johnny Depp, Black Mass. I think he did a great job with that.
Here's the thing about Into Darkness.
What's that?
Here's the thing about Into Darkness.
Yeah.
People don't like that film because of the ending. That's why. The ending is a complete cop-out. It's terrible. But if you ignore that last bit, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That from the chase on, ignore that. The rest of the film is fine.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The chase, from there, it's okay. But, so back to Doctor Strange, just essentially going to the review. I'm going to try and keep it as spoiler-free as I can.
Yes.
Yeah, the pacing for that is, I felt it going too, fast. Some things could have been a little bit more time. I felt the villain was kind of weak. I really do. I honestly think it'd be a little stronger.
Mads Mikkelsen. Come on. That's the sheep there, man.
Well, it is Lashif.
Hannibal.
He's fine, he's prominent, but the main quote unquote villain of the whole thing, you only see at the end. It's okay, and I really want to. There is a trope, and one thing I hate about superhero films, and a lot of them have done this. And the sad thing is, they do the same thing here, and I'm like, no, don't. And I really don't want to spoil it for you, so I'll just. Right. I mean, this is the only one I can say I kind of spoil, but you do. It doesn't really thing, but let's just say it doesn't really describe him exactly. I mean, the entity the main villain is, but I am sick and tired of main villains being nothing more than fucking clouds. Okay.
Yeah. Did they do it?
They kind of did that route. I'm like, no. I mean, he's not a cloud, but let's be honest, he's a fucking cloud. And I'm like, no, stop this. Oh, you did this crap.
They did that. If memory serves me correct,
they did it in
Fantastic Four 2: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yes.
Yeah, Galactus is a cloud.
They did it in another one. I cannot remember what else did it as well. And I'm like, why? Yeah, they did. That's my only spoiler. I'll say that's my only spoiler. I'm going to go. Kind of, but it
I was going to say legally though because I'm going to withdraw my last guess because I was like, did they do Galactus? I was like, no, they can't because they don't own that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and when we say Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's not the same. Marvel Cinematic Universe is controlled by Disney, and that does not include everything that say Fox,
Sony.
Fox or actually no, Sony. They can use Spider-Man and they can mix that in together. So we're not talking about the X-Men or Deadpool or anything like that.
The other one that I'm thinking of that was actually Green Lantern, the terrible Green Lantern. did with
I never
Parallax.
saw it. Okay.
Nobody did, but apparently, yeah, that was a version. That was another cloud monster. Essentially, I'm like,
Cloud
stop
monster?
it. Yeah, I'm tired of that. I'm really. Don't get me wrong.
You're like Samuel L. Jackson. I'm tired of these motherfucking cloud monsters.
On these motherfucking movies. Yeah, basically. I find those as basically cop outs. Let's be real. So.
I find your lack of rain and storms, but.
So I mean that's the thing. The other, like, basically the initiates, they're fine. I mean, you get the same thing you have with any Marvel films. You get 2 post credits. You get one at the beginning, one at the end. So
show the frickin' movie in the movie. Come on. Even with Suicide Squad, they ended up having post credits. I was like, no, it was good, but you don't need to have it in there. You really don't.
You don't, but you know what it is you realize this is a comic book movie. So they follow it in comic book logic. You always have those cliffhangers, so you buy the next issue. That's what it always does. That's how they're writing, because they have to make it so you buy it. That's why.
Don't have to do that. You just show the movie in its full form, and whatever you couldn't get in there, save it for the next one. If God willing, there is one.
So it leads into basically what could be 2 films is trying to lead into, essentially. The next one in the Marvel thing, and maybe some other iteration of Doctor Strange down the line, essentially, because it has to set up, I guess, a Doctor Strange villain, which you see throughout the whole film, and then the transition period for that character is really quick. It's like, all right. And I'm like, I'm not following that one. But
yeah,
it still has its humor. It's still there. The humor is there in the Marvel style, where you get those little bits that you didn't expect, but they come out, you're like, oh, that's cute. I see what you did there. But I guess it was because with the crowd it was just like a little, like, sensible chuckle. It's like, oh, Marvel.
Were there a lot of people in the movie theater that you went to?
The one I went to, because I guess the time I went like in the afternoon. Like, went to like 1 o'clock on a Saturday, to be honest.
Well, that's a great time to go.
It was a great time. So there was like barely anybody there. This was a film that you can clearly tell was designed for 3D films, essentially, because with all the visuals in that film and all the, world breaking, especially, like, this is a CGI fast film.
Yeah.
And if you go in wanting that, you are going to get that in spades. I will give the movie credit. The visuals in this film and the CGI are absolutely superb. And pretty much what I expected going into this was the Inception film that I wanted going into Inception. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. There was an Inception film, and it was a kick-ass film. So.
No, I wanted all those city bending and everything.
I saw the trailers, and I'm like, he's gonna get his money's worth. Because
that's where they've kind of sold me on. I'm like, cool, all these world bending, things you can do in a dream. How much was that used? One main scene.
That's not what it was promised in the trailer. They showed one thing, and that's what you were sold on. You're like, oh, well, this is what the whole movie's going to be.
I'm like, no, because
they never said it was going to be like that. No, they described it. It's a dream within a dream within a dream, and then the rules are there are no rules in a way, and they just said, oh, we could do this.
So much potential you could have done with that. Wasted all of you. Where I saw it, and especially in this film, is where it was used to its utmost fullest. When they do the world bending and they go into the Mirrorverse and do that, it is a CGI psychedelic trip. I'm pretty sure I got a contact high about twice going through some of those scenes. Yeah, they are sensory overload, and if you are watching 3D, that's where you're going to get your money's worth, essentially.
Right.
But at the same time, I saw in 2D. Again, 3D, I think, doesn't take away from the experience or add anything to it. It's the exact same thing. Just, it's a,
All right, let me ask. Go ahead.
No. So that is its strongest point is definitely its visuals. Benedict being the main person, he works well with it.
Benedict Cumberbatch, yeah.
Yep, he works well with it, I have to say. All the other ones...
I'm sure there were cameos in there, too.
The Stan Lee one in there, especially, it's nice. Sensible.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stanley. But other than that, I mean, you do get the post-credit one in there leading into, let's be honest, we already know Thor Ragnarok, that one's coming up. So
yeah,
that other ones, that's pretty much the main one, because this stuck within the Doctor Strange verse, essentially. So you didn't get really too much like, hey, here's an Avenger. No, not really. So
right.
Or locales essentially because it jumps back and forth between Nepal. Sorry, they had to change it from Tibet because they want to get the Chinese market, so we're going to put it in Nepal now. To New York, a little bit of Hong Kong, so you get those like 3 places essentially.
Yeah. Right. Okay. All right. So it was Marvel cookie cutter. Let's throw some. All right. Let me ask you this: did it have more humor in it than you thought it was going to?
Yes.
I knew it. Yep. All right.
Because the way
Shocker.
Marvel sets it up with their writing, they always know when to throw humor in at just the right time. They will throw humor in the middle of a fight.
Yeah.
Like they just like in the middle of a fight, right us up, he could be killed. And the guy's like, you don't know how to use that. It's like, yeah. It's like pretty much like their writing staff at least knows when it's like appropriate, knows how to set it up, and they always catch you off guard. And again, there are little sensible chuckles essentially.
Chuckles. Sensible chuckles.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they even gave basically the cape gave a personality to it. But yeah, CGI'd cape. Let's be honest. It's still, I mean, it's Marvel. If you know what a Marvel film is, that's what you're going to get out of it.
That's my
it's
problem.
It's got plenty of action in there. You can't go wrong. These fight scenes are well choreographed, visually all gorgeous as all hell. Like it's solid in those parts.
Solid.
The story is just where I'm thinking is kind of like, okay, evil dude. It's like standard evil dude. Going to kill us. Mm-hmm. You are the chosen one, maybe.
Okay, Neo, Luke, step up.
Or it's like, why? I don't want to join this fight. I just wanted to heal my hands. No, we've been doing this for a while, so too bad. You're going to fight with us. Ah, shit.
What'd you break?
No, nothing. It was my hands.
Oh, that was your hands. Okay. You know what's funny is I'm looking on Rotten Tomatoes is the scores that the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies go through. I know we have a little bit of time, real quick.
Yeah, we have plenty.
Yeah, we. All right, so starting. Well, you want me to go through the whole list? It's pretty quick.
Go real quickly. So,
Thor: The Dark World. Okay, the worst ranked is a 66% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now it's still with Rotten Tomatoes, it still gives that tomato saying it's still fresh. Okay, if you go below 60, I think that's when it goes into rotten. So,
rotten.
I know a lot of people don't like that movie.
It's aggregated scores because this is Rotten Tomatoes, so this is just what they're aggregated of all the critics come up. So this is not definitive. This is just what. Sadly, we use Rotten Tomatoes, but it's an easy one to use. Let's be honest.
The Incredible Hulk, 67%. That was the Ang Lee.
Sulk.
No, I'm sorry. No, that was not. That was.
That wasn't. That was the one after.
This was Edward Norton's one.
Edward Norton.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay, this was Edward Norton one. Iron Man 2, 72%. Set up.
Yeah.
The one that you and James like, and I've come around on it more. Avengers: Age of Ultron. This is one I can just sit back and just if it's on HBO or whatever, I'll watch it.
It's a popcorn flick. It's because I was sold on Ultron's character. Just the personality is what really. What did he accomplish?
He didn't
really do anything. He didn't kill anybody. He would kill one person. I know. I'm such a sucker, but I'm just like
he ripped an arm off. And that's about it.
He ripped an arm off, but he only really killed. But I'm like, right? But they were so terrified of him that he brought a presence to him. But yeah, at the same time, like, why is he driving a truck if he could just fly?
Yeah. Okay.
I know.
75% on Rotten Tomatoes. Thor, the original Thor, got 77%.
Oh, that thing was. Hey,
never saw it.
Let's just be honest. They do the exact same thing they do in Iron Man 3, essentially.
Really?
Yeah. It's like, hey, want to see a guy walk around not being Thor? No, too bad. It's like I want to see him beat Thor. We're going to take his power away from him. Oh.
All right. Speaking of Iron Man 3, 79% certified fresh. Yeah. I'm guilty of liking Iron Man 3. I mean, aside from the fact that you took you're probably like Iron Man's biggest villain and you made him not.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was ole.
It's freaking Ben Kingsley, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Now, I think actually though that if you watch the one shot for that there really is the Ben Kingsley version of the Mandarin out there. And because they went, and if you haven't seen it, it's actually really good. it has Ben Kingsley showing up in prison, and then it shows that, hey, that there really is a Mandarin out there that looks like Ben Kingsley. So that actually kind of, you shouldn't have to have that, but at the same time, I'm like, that makes more sense because you have somebody, you really had that Mandarin out there that they didn't, but they used this guy to look like the Mandarin.
Yeah.
So that I don't know. Captain America: The First Avenger, 80%.
Yeah.
Ant-Man, 81%. Wow. Okay.
Wow, Ant-Man beat out Cap 1 according to Rotten Tomatoes. Wow.
Captain America: The Winter Soldier, one of my personal favorites of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
89%.
Yeah.
I think that's such a great movie.
It is a solid film. It is.
Yeah. Doctor Strange at 90%, certified fresh. Wow.
There must be, again, a lot. Doctor Strange is a well-loved fan favorite. Like, there's a lot of people that grew up reading his comics over the years. So, to them especially, now, I will admit, I don't know much about Doctor Strange, essentially. So, going in, I'll have a brief understanding. I think the only really much that I saw of him was either cameos in cartoons I used to watch growing up, or there was one Marvel animation that was, like, on Netflix that I watched that I honestly think is better in terms of the origin story, to be honest. So,
Captain America: Civil War, 90%. So, not this year's the 90 percentile for Marvel Cinematic Universe. Guardians of the Galaxy, 91%. I don't know if I would rate it that high, but I would say that's definitely up there with the Winter Soldier for me. I think. And my problem is the Infinity Stone thing or whatever.
They're trying to work this in again. It's like you have to treat these like movies as if they're comic books, and they have to sell you on something further down the line to go and buy that.
But the characters in there were it was just so well done, so funny. And that's what made it the most entertaining for me.
It had character. It had personality in and of its own, and it sold you on that. Yeah. And it had probably one of the most fantastic soundtracks. Let's be honest.
I was listening to Blue Suede yesterday, and all I think about is just that.
They pay premium for the other songs, too. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Them and Suicide Squad, they pay premium for those songs.
Have to. Now having a comic book movie means you have to have a good soundtrack or a good like song list like that. And then we're not talking score; we're talking actual music tracks that are in there. Something that when you hear that song, it's like, oh, that's the movie. And when we think Blue Suede now, it's just you don't think of anything else but Guardians of the Galaxy.
Blue Suede's version of Hooked on a Feeling.
Right. Marvel's The Avengers, 92%. No, I like The Avengers, but a lot of people consider that the best comic book movie either. I can honestly say no. I'm looking at a picture here of Cap's uniform, and I'm like, oh, really? That's just, it's just, I don't know.
It looks like pajamas.
It looks like a onesie. And then you have Black Widow with her Glock, and I'm like, yeah, you're going to take on aliens. Good luck with that. But I will say, go ahead.
Winter Soldier, his outfit in Winter Soldier is so much better.
Well,
not the old one, he had one, but the new updated version where they gave him. I'm like, that's Captain America.
the one that he wore in the first half of that. I think that was a great one. It was just more modern, and it just it made sense. Yeah. And then Iron Man 1 came in at Iron Man 1 came in at number 1 at 94%. I think that is a great movie. That's what Winter Soldier and Guardians are my favorite. Those are my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Bradley, I gotta say it, conspiracy out there, buddy. And you can call me the DC fanboy. You can call me the DC fanboy, but I've seen better movies than that deserve a better rating than an 80%. Like, say, Ant-Man getting an 81%. I scratch my head on that. I truly do. How can you say a movie like Iron Man 2 can get a 72%? That thing was just, and it was entertaining at the time. Yes. I had so many envisions. When I saw the trailers for this, I was like, oh, they can go in different directions because now you have a superhero, that being Iron Man, Tony Stark, saying he is a superhero, saying that he's that character, saying
he is like, I'm Iron Man. Everyone freaked out. It's like, oh, there's so many directions we can go with this now. But yeah, they set up, even in this, I know people are already commenting in like forums. They're like, okay, in this, they've already confirmed that there are multiverses.
Oh.
So you know what that means. And I saw people just immediately put up pictures like, Spider-Verse, we want this now. Homecoming's coming on, please, Spider-Verse. I'm like, oh, God.
Well, I saw one that compared it with Barry Allen. Like when that moment you realize that Barry's not the only one that can mess up the timeline.
I know when you see this one where it was just like, he was practicing with time, but let's be honest, we didn't know this because he moved. We fell back an hour and we never noticed. I'm like, I see what you did there.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm sorry that I'm kind of sorry, but I'm not.
Yeah, you're not sorry.
I'm not. I'm really not.
It is a Marvel.
I'm a jerk.
Yeah, you are going to get your entertainment out of it. There's no wrong. I mean, there's nothing really like stand out. It's like, oh, this movie is garbage. No, it's Marvel's solid, film that you go. But you're going to expect the same thing you've seen with the other Marvel films. Like,
right.
It's all the same setup, follow the same routine. You just got your different characters in there and the different setups. There are just, I will nitpick it and point out like little things where it's like, this could be improved, this could be a little bit better, but don't get me wrong. You go there for the CGI fest, you're going to enjoy the hell out of it.
Okay, well, I'm glad you brought that up because I did want to mention that because you talked about the CGI fest.
Yes.
When you go back in 10 years, okay, and look at this movie, are you going to be able to say that movie held up, especially with the CGI?
Ooh, good question. Ooh,
because you know what? When I look at a movie now, I'm thinking
does CGI hold up? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it can actually. And
really?
In terms of it, it's like it's hard to just. I mean, now I say that, but let's be honest. Down the line, it's like. But then again, you look at stuff like. Easy one to point out. It's like what has aged gracefully over time. It still seems well. Jurassic Park and
yes,
Terminator 2. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Terminator 2. I mean, yeah,
still looks good to this day.
Looks better than the new Terminators. That's not hard, but still, it looks way better. Just Cameron knew what he was doing with that. Jurassic Park. I mean, the original looks better than World they used animatronics, but still.
But the same thing I have to say is you look at a film like 300 and stuff like that, where they use the CGI to stylize it, to have it give its own look, more in line with the comic. Same thing I say with Scott Pilgrim, too, where they make
Say
it...
what? What's that movie? I'm sorry, I never heard of it.
The film you still have not seen, you son of a bitch. Still has my copy this day. Still has not seen it. I'm going to punch the living bejesus out of him until he actually watches it.
He wishes he could even try. Okay.
Oh, bring it on.
But I will say, the CGI, that's been a new thing with movies with me. If it has that CGI, yeah, but my question is always going to be is when we go back and look at this movie, sure, everybody's like, ooh, 3D, whatever.
It's pretty for now. Yeah, 3D. I always have to look at it is the CGI good enough that it breaks my immersion? Am I in this, my immersion of disbelief, essentially? Am I still absorbed into this, and do I still find aesthetic, or does something just not seem right? To me, this seems to flow and work well. So wherever they're hiring, especially over there, to do that, it worked well for me. I enjoyed it. We'll see in the amount of years if it actually holds up. Again, let's be honest, when they finally release their ginormous box set anthology on Blu-ray or whatever we're using now at the time, because I imagine when they finally release all these, I guess it's going to be like the Infinity Gems like series. They're going to have like Iron Man and all that like bundled in one giant box.
Oh, yeah.
Sell it for like $1,000.
And they're going to keep on going. I mean, they really are.
Well, they're like with the comics. They're like, why don't we just continue because we got more stories we can talk about. I mean, they're doing Civil War 2 in the comics now, and they're across all their comic series. So...
Yeah.
It's going to be dragged out, let's be honest. And as long as people go and watch them, I mean, they're going to have it. I mean, right now, this is the Wild West films of the modern day, essentially. So the comic books are that.
And as Steven Spielberg pointed out, that eventually it will go away. I don't know if I believe that, but yeah, it's a big fad right now. I don't want to go into like our favorite movies of 2016. I would like to save that for the end of the year, which is approaching pretty fast.
I'm waiting on Rogue One. I'm waiting now because that's the
I
one.
know, that's the one. Honestly, that's the next movie that's on my list to see because I don't care about whatever else is out there. I can't think of anything that It's not about me being cheap at all about going to the movies because you know me. Last year I was going out to the movies every single chance I had. This year it's different because
every weekend every Sunday got to go to that matinee, see what's coming out. Got to do this. You were in a hot seat.
But there was way better movies I think to choose from though.
Well, ones that you were interested in, obviously, that you were like...
In general, I think there was a lot of good... I think last year, 2015 kicked 2016's ass. I truly do. Now,
2016 summer lineup really was kind of disappointing when you look back at it. But
it was weak.
Yeah.
Or it just ended up not being... they ended up just not being what they could have been.
Exactly. We were sold on hype, and it wasn't what we went. We went with higher expectations probably this year than what we did previously. Let's just say.
Yeah. But when you sent me the message, Doctor Strange 3 out of 5 from me, I'm like, ouch. I was like, please tell me more tomorrow. I sent you a picture of what I was watching last night.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad at all. It's a solid film.
Yeah.
I just think it could have gone. It could have been better. Obviously.
Right.
It has its strong points, and it sticks to those strong points.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they're little things, and I'm just like, they're doing that. Why? They're doing this. Why? I think it could have been better. Again, if you are a huge fan of Doctor Strange, you're going to get Doctor Strange love all over that. I mean, you've already gone out. You've already seen it. You don't need to hear my opinion on it. Enjoy it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, I was gladly watching Deadpool last night, and I said I watched a real Marvel movie. It's a different, Marvel, of course, but still, same time, no, I think we will have lots to talk about at the end of the year when it comes to like the movies and stuff like that. But no, like I said, I can't think of anything. Rogue One, that's the big one right now, and you'll love this, okay? I'm at my office this past week, and we'll just say that the main boss walks by. Okay, now last year I had, and this is one of those things that you hate, that you said you don't understand at Comic-Con. Those little Funko Pop things. Okay.
Yeah.
So
every nerd has at least an entire shelf dedicated to pop vinyl.
Right.
Characters and the little figurines. Me myself, I'm looking at those as those meme of the guy of not John Candy. Looking at John Goodman in not Bulwark. What am I thinking of? You know what I'm thinking of, the cult classic. The Big Lebowski. Hold the gun going, am I the only one around here that doesn't get pop vinyl?
Yeah, so I had bought the First Order Stormtrooper last year, and I put it at my desk because I just wanted, when you're at work all day, and that becomes your home after a while and stuff like that. So I put it like right in my computer, and then my boss walks by, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know you were a fan. How'd you like the new one? It was great, wasn't it?" I was like, "Yeah, actually, I had a great time with it, or whatever." Yeah. And that's when I was buying my my First Order Stormtrooper helmet and stuff like that.
the black edition that he bought.
Exactly. Yes, still have it. I haven't played with it in a long time. Anyway, so make a long story short, he came by and he's like, "Hey, Brian, did you see that new Rogue One trailer?" He's like, Are you going to go see it? I was like, "Opening night, sir." That's right. I was like, you know what? One of those things, pop vinyl actually came in handy because he remembers,
Spreaker.
Exactly. And how many people, I mean, I don't know, like how many bosses will confess that they are a Star Wars fan, but I mean, I thought it was pretty funny, though, all things considered. I mean,
that's how it worked for you. I mean, people have them. They do their own little displays for them. Me, I'm like, I just don't get it. I mean, I don't have that many really figurines themselves because, one, where's the shelf space that I have it in my room, especially?
I only have two, and actually, what's funny is the one I gave away was to my nephew. Because I gave him the Star Wars because actually I think he's a bigger fan of Star Wars, and I replaced it with the Dark Knight Batman one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The only figurine I have was out of a loot crate. The only one that I bought, the Anti-Heroes, which has a classic Harley Quinn, little tiny one with one of her hyenas, and she's got the big mallet. It's a little cutesy looking one, but honestly, that's still in the box right now. I don't have any place to put it.
Wow.
And just nothing. Besides, if I would get a pop vinyl, I'd be very particular about which one I would want.
So am I. Yeah, I was too.
I was like, do I want to do a Spider-Gwen or do I want to do like a Skyrim because I do video games?
I'm sure they're out there. Yeah.
Oh, they are, but it's like at the same time, it's like, okay, but there's probably, resellers because these are the most popular as all freaking hell. So there's probably scalpers out there that will sell them for ridiculous. Again, when we go to Comic-Con, especially in New York, they have their own booth lined up and they have con exclusive ones. People are literally just buying those in troves just so they get back to the hotel room and flip them on eBay.
Yeah, no, I don't do any of that. I just wanted at least one, and I was like, the one that I wanted the most, I think all things considered, was the Batman one. I thought about getting like the new Batman v Super ones.
You tell me you don't want Batman 66 in his board shorts and surfboard?
No.
That one looks hilarious.
No, I don't. Absolutely not. No. But we'll have to talk about the pop finals. We'll have to get JR to weigh in on that. But that does bring me for a tease for our next show. I did want to make sure that we do talk about this because I did also send you guys a picture last night. It was about it was something about how. Oh yeah, here it is. It was DC versus Marvel, of course, which which we definitely talk about a lot on this show, and it was DC. The DC side, it would be DC, Star Trek, Game of Thrones being the blue pill. Marvel was the Marvel movies, Star Wars, and The Walking Dead, the red pill. And of course, I knew which one a certain Bo would take. I was like, oh, well, God, I mean, you might as well just give him, like, just crush him up a red pill. He's going to sniff that, like, Jordan Belfort in Wolf of Wall Street, and who could blame him for that? So, and
he was a $100 bill, obviously.
Yeah, and he's like, Star Wars beats Trek and Dead beats Thrones. And mind you, I've never watched Game of Thrones. I've never watched The Walking Dead. I'm just trying to stir the pot here a little bit. So I can't wait to talk about that.
I love it.
What's that?
I'm caught up on Game of Thrones. I love it. I can't wait for the next season.
Okay, I have not watched that. I have never watched The Walking Dead. I have not watched this new one, Westworld. I'm just a DC fan watching Flash and Arrow. I caught up. I'm already caught up on the new seasons, and I think if I catch up anymore, I'm going to have to start watching Supergirl.
Oh god!
Actually, I heard that's pretty good.
Legends of DC Legends of Tomorrow.
I don't want to have to watch that, but it might have to come to
CW verse.
That CW verse is awesome. I don't care what anybody says. That CW verse is awesome. It really, really is. I mean, I love what they did with Flashpoint on there. Oh, it's just everything about the timeline. I'm like, and it just.
Still waiting for a Thomas Wayne Batman and a Martha Joker. Just come on, Flashpoint, make it serious.
Well, what's funny is Mark Hamill's on there, and he's been playing the Trickster the last 2 seasons. But now that a picture had surfaced of what looks like he's more as the Joker, or it's maybe just a new style that he put on the Trickster. They were teasing it as the Joker.
Yeah, they were doing that. There was also going around my couple social media where they were looking at. I can't remember his name, but he played the comedian in what's it called The Watchmen, and recently, obviously Walking Dead. I never remember that. Again, I'm not caught up on that, but the main villain that's going on right now, who did Glenn, that guy. They're like, dude, why isn't this guy Thomas Wayne? Because he looks him,
right?
Yeah. So
definitely. So
do that verse, do that alternate universe where Thomas Wayne becomes Batman, Bruce Wayne died, and Martha Wayne went crazy.
He was Thomas Wayne.
No, that's right. He was Thomas Wayne.
He was Thomas Wayne in Batman v Superman. So they're thinking this would work out so well. Yeah.
It would work out because he already has that look. It's like once you do it, you just alt verse it and just do that. He would become Batman. He'd become a huge alcoholic drunk, hilarious, still and use guns. Mm-hmm. And then Martha Wayne goes crazy because of losing Bruce, so she becomes the Joker. So I know.
I know. What I was going with the Mark Hamill one is that they showed him looking in the Joker, what looked like more Jokerish kind of makeup or whatever, in an outfit. So they posted a picture that's side by side of the one with Jared Leto's Joker, and then Mark Hamill saying, "Fine, I'll do it myself." I'm like, yes. And then there's something going on, which I'll address on another show. It's about how Jared Leto's the coolest Joker, more 100% cooler than Heath Ledger. I'm like, them fighting words, brother. Them are fighting words. And I want to find that son of a bitch, and I will hunt you down, and I will find you. And I will kill you. Okay. Yeah.
I have a very particular set of skills.
Yeah. I got the foam batarangs, bitch. You know, to watch out.
The ones that aren't been chewed up by Ivana.
Oh, you love that, didn't you?
Oh god, I was like, oh man, I feel the pain.
Yep. As Robin says, always carry a spare. Anyway, all right. Well, I think that about wraps it up for this week's episode. How about it?
Yeah, I think we covered.
We got into everything we could.
Where we get done today, we're going to do for next week. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, we held down the fort. All things considered, I'd say we nerded out because that's what we do. But minus any alcohol, of course.
Oh no, I'm drinking freaking hell for God's sakes right here.
I don't know. You know what? I don't know about pumpkin ale, but I will say pumpkin ale might have still been in my system today. And it might have. Well, let's just say
it's good pumpkin ale.
Let's just say Pepto-Bismol definitely played a factor in right now, and Sierra Mist. So yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. That about wraps it up for this episode of the Bantering Bohs show. Subscribe on Spreaker. Still working on that iTunes. Probably, it'll be up very. We'll give it. I think, once we get this flow going back, we'll be up back on there. If not, it's going to be right after the new year. After the next hiatus. No kidding. Follow us on social media. Oh yeah, 2-week vacation, Bradley. 2 weeks.
Oh God. Hey, let's do a podcast. By the way, I'm going on vacation. Motherfucker.
You know what? It must have been that alternate timeline. God damn it, Barry.
Damn it, Barry.
Follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bantering Bohs. Bradley's doing a whole lot of great posts out there, guys. And
I'm posting whatever I've been coming to. So right now, I'm finishing up Comic-Con, a New York Comic-Con picture, so I'm getting to the...
It's not just lovely ladies in cosplay, though. I do have a request for that for what WCW.
I do have some really good ones. I do also have the ones that go on from Coffee and Cars coming out, too, so a couple car shots, too, as well. I should be getting into and telling myself when I have some free time to start doing some editing of those cosplay ones, so at least do some justice to them, especially.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, James Revere, if you're listening, enjoy the rest of your vacation. He will be back next week.
Not sober.
Please don't be. No. Don't do anything stupid there, buddy. And for Brad Beals, I'm Brian Thomas saying thanks for listening and have a great week, everybody. Peace out.
Take it easy.